G'day legends, welcome to video number 2 in my learning to skate in my 30s vlog. Today I'm going to be touching on 3 things. First thing is going to be talking about how to figure out how to stand on the board properly and a funny little story to go along with that. Number 2, I'm going to talk about how many calories I've burned so far this week since the last video, how my progression's going, how I'm feeling. And then for the third thing, we're going to touch on a bit of injury and injury prevention. So until then, I'll do all that back of the house. But I'm here at the end of the Spit on the Gold Coast, which is a really gross name for a place, but it's a massive sort of like man-made sand peninsula. And on one side we've got the ocean over behind me, and then on the other side we've got the Broadwater. I'm going to go over there and do some stretches to warm up, and you'll see a little bit of that in the background, hopefully some jet skis or something going past. Yeah, and I'm just going to do my 15-20 minute skate around here and take you guys with me, and if I see anything cool, you guys will too. Alright, until then, I'll see you guys back at the house after this little montage. Alright guys, welcome back to video number 2 in my Learning to Skate vlog series. I haven't come up with a name for this vlog series yet, so if you guys have got something witty or funny or whatever, drop them in the comments down below. Let me know. I'm open to all suggestions. But as I said at the start, I have got 3 things I'm going to talk about today. The first being figuring out how to stand on the board. The second being how many calories I've burned this week and how I'm feeling generally. And then number 3, we're going to talk about injuries and injury prevention. So without further ado, let's get into the 3 points for today. Number 1, as I said, was figuring out how to actually stand on the board properly. So, and I've got a funny story to go along with this as well. So a couple of years ago, probably about 10 years ago, I went down to the skate park with my friend Ant, who's a really good skater. He said, you know, I've been telling him for ages that I'd want to get good at skating and whatever, and he was like, all right, let's go down to the skate park. I've got a spare deck, you can use it. So we went down to the skate park and I jumped on the board, and he was straight away, it was like one of those freeze frame things, like whoa, 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 whoa. He was like, what's that? What are you doing? What's that all about? So as it turned out, growing up in just the standard way that I do things, which is figuring out the most awkward and weird way to do something, I was actually skating Mongo. So the 2 normal stances that you've got for skateboarding, surfing, all of those kind of things are normal, standard stance, and then goofy, which is basically, it normally depends if you're left or right-handed. Most people are right-handed and they skate normal. And then a lot of people who are left-handed skate what's called goofy. So the way that you figure it out is the leg that you jump from. Like if you're going to run up and jump for, you know, try and touch the basketball hoop, or in long jump, you know, you get your run up and then you jump. Whatever leg it is that you jump off to go for like a basketball, you know, like a slam, or for long jump, or whatever leg it is that you use to jump in an athletic setting, that's the leg that you'll generally use to push with, and then the other foot will be the front foot on the board, which you use for balance. And the way that I was doing it, I was using my preferred foot, which is my right foot, for pushing. I was putting that on the back of the board first, pushing with my left leg, and then switching around, like shifting my weight around onto the board and standing in a normal stance. And then whenever I try to push, it was back to foot on the back of the board and pushing with my left foot. And so no wonder I couldn't skate properly throughout my whole, you know, younger years. I was skating Mongo. So that's it, I'm a Mongo. So and put a stop to that straight away. And ever since then, I've been really conscious of it, and it just makes a lot of sense. Once I started skating standard, you've got more of a point of balance, like your weight's forward on the board rather than all the way at the back, which was why I would always stack it, because the board would poo shoot out from under me. So that's how you figure out how to stand on the board. So if you've never been on a skateboard before, that's the first thing that you've got to do. Number 2, I'm going to talk about how many calories I burned, how I'm feeling, how the progression has gone for the week. So using my Apple Watch, I've tracked my 15 minutes a day on the skateboard, and I've pretty much hit 15 minutes every workout. I think there might have been 1 or 2 where I did 12 or 13 minutes, but then there were a couple of others where I went above 15 minutes. So all in all, I got my 15 minutes on average for those 7 sessions, and I burnt just over 1,000 calories. It was 1,088 calories. And trying to figure that out in terms of food-wise, that's around about 4 Mars bars. So Mars bar is around about 250 calories, 220, 250 calories. So it's around about 4 or 4.5 Mars bars is the equivalent to what I burnt off skateboarding. Now, to see any sort of like really decent weight loss, you want to be burning about an excess of 3,500 calories a week. So with my strength training and the extra walking and everything that I've been doing, I think that extra 1,000 calories from just the 15 minutes skateboarding is really going to help. Overall, feeling pretty good. I've started taking a magnesium supplement as well, which is helping me with my muscle soreness, which I generally got pretty bad in my legs after the gym. And I've found that doing that extra bit of aerobic activity with the skating every day is really helping the legs as well. So I haven't sort of pulled up lame the day after or anything like that. I'm feeling really good. So overall, the first week has been great. I've just been rolling along, not like doing anything crazy, just getting used to balancing on the board, pushing, and that's it. I'm doing a little bit of like using my hips to kind of turn a little bit, but I'm not like carving or shredding or anything like that. It's basically just kicking and pushing and coasting, and that's it. And that's probably the way it's going to be for the next couple of weeks. As I start to feel a bit better, that's when I'll start to sort of get the hips moving a bit more and try and practice some, like some hard turns and things like that. So overall, just over 1,000 calories burnt, doing 15 minutes skating a day on the longboard, feeling really good. It's great to get out in the sun. Even though it's winter here, it's still really warm. So overall, it's been awesome. All right, number 3 on my list today is injuries and injury prevention. So in January this year, I was actually a couple of times a week, I was using the skateboard to get to public transport to get to work. It was a very, very long day when it was about 3 hours to get from here to work and then 3 hours to get from work home. About 40 minutes of that was on the skateboard. So it was very mentally taxing. And one night I got home from work to the train station and I was going to skate home, which would normally take about 40 minutes, and came off the skateboard when I was coming down a hill on the longboard and hit my shoulder and really hurt myself, and went to the doctor, got some scans, and the doctor said that basically all of my ligaments and tendons and everything in my shoulder was really inflamed. I'd basically bruised it really badly. So that meant no skating, obviously, for a while, and meant backing off at the gym and all sorts of stuff. Anyways, a few months ago, I went and saw a sports physio, and she actually told me that my shoulder was actually slightly dislocated. So it was lucky in that time that I hadn't been back on the skateboard, because if I'd come off again, I probably would have fully dislocated my shoulder. So I've been trying to build the muscles up around that shoulder, which is, I'm feeling pretty good now, which is why I've decided to get back on the skateboard and try and learn things properly. But in terms of injury prevention, I started doing some stretching. I looked up on YouTube, and one of the videos that I found was by The Daily Push, and the guy on that channel gave a really good rundown on a warm-up that you can do. And I found that I'm going to put some images, some video here of the stretches that I got from that video. And you can see I'm doing a hip flexor exercise down on sort of one knee. And these stretches are all really similar stretches to what I normally do at the gym when I'm squatting and deadlifting. So it's basically a dynamic stretch, stretching everything in like your legs, your hips, your butt, anything that generates power. So it was a lot of hip flexor stretching. There was some hamstring stretching in there, bit of groin stretching, and then I did some of the side to sides and front to back kicks, which I do before I squat. And then I decided to sort of get the heart rate up a little bit, and after I'd done some calf raises to sort of stretch the toes and the feet, I decided to do some squat jumps, box jumps, to get the heart rate up. So I did a few sets of that. So all in all, I did around about 10-12 minutes warm up before my skate, and that's something that I'm going to do every day now. That's going to help prevent injury, and it's going to get me nice and warm and loose before I go for my little skate. So that's one of the key things as you're getting older is injury prevention. Things don't bend when you get older, they tend to break, especially with the weight that I'm carrying. If I was to fall on my elbow, my arm, my wrist or something like that, or come off and hit my knee, with the amount of weight and force that's coming behind it, I'm going to do serious damage. So that's why I'm trying to get myself limber and mobile before I get on the skateboard. And I found today that my skating felt a lot more stable and a lot better when I was properly warmed up. So that's for an older person, whether you're an older guy or an older girl getting into skating. It's really important to stretch, and that's the same with any form of physical exercise as we get older. Now, to tie in with that, in a later video series, I'm going to try and do some beginner yoga as well, and I think that will really help with my skateboarding too. So yeah, in terms of injury prevention, just make sure you're doing like at least a 10 to 15 minute warm-up. Follow the directions from the video that I was talking about. I'll link that in the description down below from the Daily Push. It's really good, really informative, and it'll help you stay in one piece. All right, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I've got some great response to the first video, and I'm really looking forward to you guys coming along with me on this journey. I'm really looking forward to getting on the shortboard over the next couple of months and starting to learn how to ollie. We've only got about 5 months left in the year, so I don't know if I should give myself any goals yet. Maybe like an ollie at least by the end of the year. If not, if I can master the ollie by the time Christmas pops up, I might try and have a go at maybe a kickflip. But we'll see. If you guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys reckon I could pull a kickflip off by Christmas? If you think so, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys have enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. It helps these videos get a bit more exposure for me. And I would love for you to subscribe as well. Picked up a couple of subscribers off the last video, so if you've just joined, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And yeah, join me on the journey as I try and skate or die. Peace.